Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. Guys, for today's video, I'm doing something that I haven't done in a hot minute, but that is a chit chat, get ready with me Q&A style. I asked you guys over on Instagram a couple days ago, as well as my community post, to send in your questions about my trip to LA. Were there any juicy tea to spill? What was it really like meeting the influencers? And how was my trip to LA? So you guys want to see all those questions answered, see how I got this look, well then definitely keep on watching. Okay, I feel like I actually haven't done like a Q&A in so long. So we're just gonna sit back, relax, and we're gonna play with some makeup, and I'm gonna answer all your guys' burning questions about my trip to LA. But before we dive into today's video, guys, I am so excited to say that a portion of this video is once again sponsored by Ofra Cosmetics. Thank you guys so much for partnering up with me. You guys know how much I do love Ofra Cosmetics, and I'm so excited to share with you guys the new Lotus collection. So this Lotus collection does roll out with a brand new eyeshadow palette. Now this eyeshadow palette does retail for $39. This is a neutral eye palette, and it says that the Lotus eyeshadow palette is all new and features an enhanced shadow formula for even more pigmented payoff. With a mix of metallics, neutral, mattes, and pops of color, this 12-pan palette is one of those that you'll keep coming back to. We really hope you enjoy this collection and maybe even try something new. Now, if you guys actually head over to Ofra's Instagram stories, well, there should be featured at some point. I actually am doing an Ofra takeover. I'm so excited because I actually got to go on Ofra's Instagram and do like a whole Instagram takeover where I showed you guys all the new products. I created a beautiful eye look. It's actually what I wore in yesterday's video when you guys saw my super mini tiny PR haul. I actually wore all the products from Ofra. So here we do have the Lotus palette. I actually used the shade Spirit and Serenity to create a beautiful neutral eye look. These shades are actually so pigmented and they blended out super easily and they're so easy to work with. I freaking loved it. I also talked about the new highlighter. Now this highlighter does retail for $35. Look at this highlighter right here. This actually retails for $35. This is the Lotus highlighter. Look at how gorgeous this is. Now this is definitely going to have like a green to gold shift. So it isn't like perfect for my skin tone, but it's actually able to use this to put this like right in the center of my eye look to really enhance it and make it pop even more. Plus I love the packaging. Like look at how cute this packaging is. Oh, it is just so freaking adorable. And for the first time ever, they're actually rolling out with a pure glow finishing powder. So they're going to have the light powder. They're going to have the medium powder followed by the deep powder right here. Now these all do retail for $35 a piece. They're going to be a nice radiant finishing powder. You guys can use this in place of your setting powder, or you could actually put it on after setting powder, or you could do what I did. Since I have really, really oily skin, I don't do well with radiant finishing powders. It just doesn't work well with my oil, but I still like to have that radiant glow at times. So I actually took the shade Light and I actually set my face with it. So I put my moisturizer on, and then before I put on primer, I actually dabbed this all over my face to give myself like a soft radiant glow. And then I went in with the rest of my products, and guys, let me tell you, my face looks so radiant. It was so glowy, but it didn't look oily, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to still look radiant and glowy and luminous without looking like a greasy, oily mess, and this was able to do that for me. So I was so freaking excited for it. So I'm gonna be using these products today. I'm gonna show you guys how they work. You guys can use code Allie, which will save you guys 20% off this entire collection or off the products individually. Collection is actually live today. I don't exactly know what time it goes live today, but I do know this collection is launching today. I'll have it linked down below in my description, but go check them out. You guys know how much I do love Ofra Cosmetics. They have been so kind to me, and it's just so weird because I'm such a small influencer and this brand has taken such good care of me, and I really do appreciate them. And one day when I do travel down to Miami, I hope to go meet the team there, check out their lab and how they make stuff, because they make stuff in-house, and I just think it'd be really cool. So I just want to thank Ofra Cosmetics for sponsoring a portion of today's video. I can't wait to show you guys these products and whatnot, because I really, really did love the look that I created using their products in my Instagram takeover. Please go follow them on Instagram so you guys can actually see my Instagram takeover. It's so cool. It's so exciting. That was my first time ever. So all right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and start to get into this eye look today. I actually am going to be using the Lotus palette. So instead of doing the eye look that I did yesterday, I'm actually going to go with these orange shades, because these orange shades are actually really pretty, and I kind of want to like match my shirt just a little bit. So I'm going to first set my base. I'm going to go with my P. Louise setting base right here. And then I'm just going to start to answer questions that you guys had. A lot of you guys wanted to know some juicy questions. So I'm just going to answer the first one that I see. I haven't done like a Q&A in so long. Okay, so one of the first questions, and I saw this a lot, I mean a lot, was, am I going to move to LA? Y'all, no. I literally have no desire to move out to LA at all. There's nothing wrong with it. It just is, one, it is a massive, massive city. Like, I thought that Orlando was huge, right? I really thought that Orlando was massive. And then I got to LA and I was like, holy shit, that place is huge. Like, I swear it's triple or quadruple the size of Orlando. It's massive. And I am not a city girl. Like, I like living more like in the country. I like having open space and open land. And I just realized that I'm not really much into the city. And I say this with all the kindness in my heart, and I hope no one takes offense to this. Their homeless population is something that I just didn't expect. Like, I knew going to LA that there's a really bad homeless situation over there. Like, I knew, like, everybody warned me, you'll see a lot of homeless people here. The situation's really bad. They're trying really hard to improve the situation. And you can only hear so much, but it's until you physically see it that you're like, oh my God. Like, I was really just thrown back by how bad the homelessness situation is over there. Like, I had no idea. We talked to a lot of people. We were doing like a lot of our Uber rides, and they were telling us about the situation, about the city doesn't have any shelters for them at all. So unfortunately, there's really nothing they can do. The only thing the city does is they provide tents for all the homeless people. So it really was just a shock, because it just wasn't something I expected to see. Like, in all of these areas, just tents upon tents upon tents. You know, they showed us where Skid Row was, which is something that you never want to like go experience. And I didn't really encounter any homeless people myself. Like, I saw them everywhere, but it wasn't until we got to Santa Monica that we were on the pier like midday, enjoying just like looking at the sky and, you know, seeing everything get set up for the Super Bowl. I'm going to go into the shade bloom right here. I'll put this all over my lid. So just something that I wasn't like expecting to see. And then when we were sitting there looking at the water, there were homeless people coming on the pier, and this one lady like was digging through the trash, and you can tell that she was on something, because she was grabbing like empty Monster cans, or like Monster cans that had stuff in it, and just pouring it all over her body, and then just like going after people like that. So that was a little trippy. And then a lady approached us and approached Corey and wanted to know how Corey snagged such a beautiful woman like myself and what he does to keep me. And I said, well, this is my husband, I'm his wife. And she's like, oh, I'm really sorry to bother you guys. I'm homeless. I was just wondering if you guys can pay me money. And I'm like, oh, we don't have any cash. And she was very sweet. She's like, no, I understand. And she left us alone. But it just wasn't something that I expected. And then we were eating lunch on the pier. There was this guy that came up to our table and said that he would give us $2 for us to buy him a quesadilla. The server walked by and said, no, like, you need to go, because I guess that's all he does. And we ended up seeing him like walking away with a plate of food. So somebody must have given it to him. So it just was something that I just wasn't expecting, because like, we do have like homeless people here in Orlando, but usually whenever they have like tents and stuff like that, they're usually like in the trees and in the forest, not really along the side of the shops and the roads. And it's just something I just wasn't expecting. Not to mention, LA is ungodly expensive. Like, it's stupidly expensive. I knew LA was going to be expensive, but holy crap. I mean, it was expensive to be there. And the traffic, I'm not a fan of the traffic. Like, the traffic, we would like just to go to Griffith Observatory, which is 3 miles from our hotel. It took us almost 45 minutes. It was insane. Now, I'm not one to get motion sickness, unless I drove through like the mountains of West Virginia, because it's up and down. Well, California, driving through the mountains as well. But these Uber drivers were just on a whole new level. They're just flooring the gas, slamming on the brake, flooring, slamming. So you're just doing this like nonstop up and down the mountains. I legit was, and they wouldn't put on the fucking air in the back seat. So I'm just like wearing a mask, going, I'm gonna throw up. So I had to roll down the window. I was like, this is just not what I had expected. At all. So I literally have no desire to move there at all. I love Florida. I love the East Coast. Like, I'm definitely an East Coast girl at heart. It's just, there's just more space here. I don't want to live in an area that's just so crowded. It's just not for me. So I have no intentions to move there at all. I mean, if Corey's job takes us there, then he takes us there, because he does want to work in the gaming industry. And unfortunately, a lot of places in the gaming industry do actually happen in LA, so, or do happen in California. So like there could be a chance, but it just really just like all depends. But as of now, I literally have no intention. And yes, it does suck like career wise, because obviously I'd have more opportunities if I lived out in LA to like meet other brands, go to parties. I mean, like me and Manny were talking about it, and at the end of the day, a lot of small influencers do get invited to brand events or launch parties and stuff like that, but it's very rare for a brand to fly out a small influencer the way that Glamite did for me. Like that is super rare for somebody to do, but the small influencers are actually invited to events, but you have to live there. So that's the one thing I'm missing out on, is like those situations, but I don't care. So next question is, how long before the launch did they contact you about flying you out? They let me know probably about I want to say almost 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, 2.5, before we knew, because they had to book the flights, they had to book the hotels, and they had to make sure that we had the time off. I mean, like I can obviously go, but Corey had to be the one that got time off because he was getting to come with me. So they wanted to make sure that he had accommodations as well. And thank God our job is very flexible, where they allowed him to like leave, and our bartender, all the bartenders stepped up and like took his shift. So it was like no problem at all for him to like fly out. So that was actually really easy, but they did let us know a couple weeks prior that, hey, this is what's going on. And it just made it very easy for us to plan everything. Plus I had to go find an outfit, and let me tell you guys, finding an outfit was the worst thing in the world. One, I'm not the biggest shopper. I love shopping for books, I love shopping for makeup, but I hate shopping for clothes. It's just not something I'm really that into. I'm more of like an online shopper, or I buy my clothes from Target, just because I like buying my clothes from Target because they're super cute. But like trying to find like a fancy dress, oh my God, that was such a pain. I went everywhere you could think of to go find a dress, because you're supposed to be like a nice glammed out event, and I wanted to make sure that I was dressed up like accordingly. And I just felt very insecure in every single outfit that I wore. I just felt like I just didn't look pretty. My body wasn't looking right. I just wasn't a fan of it. So I bought several outfits. I returned them. And I've had a lot of people ask me where I got my outfit that I wore to Glamite. I actually got that from Express. Now, it's just a glittered, like a sparkled bodysuit that I paired it with the jacket and the skirt. Like, I made the outfit myself. It's not a dress. I didn't want to wear a dress. I wanted to wear something that was a little bit more comfortable for me, a little bit more form-fitting. And I kind of like sucked in a little bit of a belly, you know. I just wanted to be something that was comfortable, and I didn't want to wear a dress. It just wasn't for me. So that is what I wore. So in case you guys want to know, I got my outfit from Express. And I have no regrets. I'm glad I got it from Express. Did you come across anyone snooty? You look so beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I did not come across anyone snooty at all. If they were snooty, they did not show it to me in the slightest. That was my first time meeting like a lot of like influencers, and I feel really bad because there's a lot of questions on here asking me if I met any small creators. Guys, there was a lot of small creators there. There was a lot of big creators there, but I unfortunately was so naive to who they were. Like, I had no idea. When I was sitting there talking to Manny's like, oh, this is that person, this is that person, this is that person. And I was like, I don't know any of them. Like, some of them are big on TikTok, some of them are big on Instagram, and a lot of them are just big YouTubers that I've never heard of. Like, my friends were seeing my stories going, oh my God, this so-and-so is here. And I'm like, who? Because I didn't know. Like, I just genuinely didn't know. That was faces that I recognized. Like, I saw Cole's World, someone else, and a guy named Daniel that I recognized as well. But again, I just didn't know. And it wasn't until like these people were posting pictures on the Glamite stories or posting pictures with like Manny, and like I'd see who they were. I go to the profile, I'm like, oh my God, they have like 800,000 or 900,000 followers and they're verified. And here I am talking to them for 5 minutes about how gorgeous their makeup is, having no clue who the hell they were. But the thing, you know what the thing is though, I'm pretty sure they were the same way towards me. I'm pretty sure they were like, who is this chick that's just sitting here talking to Manny? I think everybody was kind of floored because I sat at the table. So at my table, it was me, Manny, Chris and Dominique, Sophie from Trend Mode, and someone else. I forgot her name, but she was really sweet to talk to. But we were sitting there at the table, and I knew a lot of people were probably like, how did I end up at this table? I think I saw Brittany Bear's makeup. I think I saw her there. But I know people are probably questioning, like, why am I sitting at, like, the big influencer table? But I think it had just to do with the fact that, like, I am friends with Manny. And Glamite knew I was friends with Manny. They were very well aware. So I think they were just being very sweet and, like, putting us together. So they put me at the table with people that I actually knew and talked to. So it was just a really cool moment. Like, me and Manny were texting before he arrived. And when he did arrive, I could tell that people didn't believe I was friends with him. I could tell, like, when Manny did arrive, legit, we both looked at each other and, like, we met on the dance floor and, like, he picked me up into a big bear hug and kind of, like, spun me around. I was so excited to finally meet him. And then we just sat there and, like, shoot the shit the entire time. And then Kristen Dominique came in and she immediately walked over and, like, hugged Manny. And Corey and me shook her husband Caesar's hand. And then Manny was so freaking sweet, goes, "Hey, Kristen, this is my friend Allie." And I was like, "Hi, Kristen. It's so nice to meet you." I was like, "You're absolutely gorgeous in person." And Manny's like, "Tell her what you do." Bitch, no, I'm not going to tell her what I do. Like, that's so awkward. And he's like, "Well, she's a YouTuber. She's actually a fan of yours." She's like, "Oh my God, really? What's your name?" And I was like, "Allie Dawson." She's like, "Let me look you up." And then I was like, "We actually exchanged DMs before." She's like, "Oh my God, did we really?" And she's like, "Oh, you're so sweet." So me and her just got to talking. We got to talk about Dominique Cosmetics, my horrible first video reviewing the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette that we shall never freaking watch ever again. But we got to, like, talk about that stuff. I got to talk to her about her brand, her birthday, you know, just talk about stuff in general. And she was unbelievably sweet. And I'm not gonna lie, she is just a goddess in person. Like, she is a goddess in person. And I had talked about how I was just really self-conscious going to an event like this because my makeup skills are nowhere near everyone there. Like, everyone there was just, it's like I'm walking into, like, a model's den. Everybody there was so freaking beautiful. I remember one point I looked at Corey and I said, "Everybody here is so beautiful." And both him and Manny went, "Well, you're at a beauty event." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's right." So it was, like, such a moment to, like, talk to her about that. And she said, like, you know, when she first started out in makeup, her makeup was atrocious as well, that it wasn't anything to be, you know, wasn't anything good, that we all just, like, learn as we go. So she said my makeup looked beautiful, and I was just like, "You're being sweet. Don't lie. Don't lie." No, but she was super sweet, and she told me about the 3 events she had to go to and how she had an event afterwards. And she truly was such a kind soul to talk to. And then when Trend Mood, Sophie, showed up, she gave me the biggest hug and said, "Thank you so much for always supporting Trend Mood and my boxes." I'm like, "You know me?" She's like, "I've seen your videos." I'm like, Now, I will tell you what, she is so down to earth. Like, Sophie is so down to earth. She was so sweet. She was very welcoming to me to LA. She just really took such good care of me and made me feel extremely welcomed. And, you know, she was talking about, like, you know, what it's like in the industry and just pretty much to, like, not give up on my dreams, and that she knows for a fact that this will not be the last time she ever sees me again. I'm like, "Seriously?" She's like, "No, girl." She's like, "You're going to go far, I'm telling you." She was very, very uplifting, very supportive, and I had a wonderful time talking to her. And it's so cool because, like, she was going around the event just talking to, like, a lot of other people as well. And, like, same thing with Manny. Manny was so sweet, and some people were asking me, like, in my questions, like, what's it like meeting Manny? It's hard to say because I've talked to Manny now for so long that it was just like hanging out with a friend. Like, that's just generally what it was. It was just me hanging out with a friend. But now, instead of, like, FaceTiming each other, we can see each other in person. So it was, like, literally, like, no different. So just like me sitting there having dinner with a friend, it was a wonderful time. We got to talk so much. And I won't go into details about our personal conversations because it is personal. But we just had a great time. Manny is wonderful. And it's just so cool to, like, see him in that environment. I'm not gonna lie though, I did do one thing that I wasn't sure I was gonna do, but I literally said that I had to. I looked at Manny. I was like, "Manny, I know we're friends, and I typically don't act like this, right? But I'm just gonna say this one time to get it off my chest." I went, "I'm at a beauty event with Manny Mue. Like, how freaking serious? This is just what? Like, this Kristen Dominique, Sophie. Like, I'm at a beauty event with you." Okay, I'm good. I got that off my chest. I'm good. That's exactly what I did. And Corey goes, "Oh my God," you know, because I typically don't act like that. Like, when I met, like, Charlie D'Amelio and, like, an Addison Rae and all them, or when I met any celebrities at my job, never acted like that. But I just had to do it for just one moment because I literally had told him prior, like, this is something I've always seen him do, and I never thought I'd do it with him. So, like, how cool was that, right? It was very cool. It was such a moment that I had to experience. I had to, like, just say that. I really did have to say that. So that was, like, the experience. Everybody there was super nice. So many people were asking me in my questions, like, is there any tea to spill, any drama? There was nothing that I saw at all. Like, everybody was super kind. Everybody was super welcoming. I'm gonna go into this shade called Rising. Everybody was super kind. Everybody was super welcoming. No one made me feel out of place at all. I was very self-conscious at first because everybody was like arriving like in these really beautiful, elegant gowns. And here I am like in a bodysuit. But everybody was just so sweet. And whenever anyone would come up to Manny would introduce me to people and he'd say like, this is my really good friend, Allie. She's a content creator. I shake their hands. I talk to them for a few moments. I was like, I guess you could say like networking. But it was just really cool because everybody there was just like, hi, how are you? Welcome to LA. It's just your first time. Super welcoming. Same thing with the entire team. I talked about this in my Glamite video. The entire team at Glamite was the most welcoming. Took such good care of us, made sure that we were all taken care of that night. And not just that night, just like in general, they've taken like such good care of us. So I would definitely say, like, I know there's like a stigma following around like, you know, the beauty industry, like how people are really mean and snooty and stuff like that. I don't think that's the case. I think what it really boils down to is that people do tend to hang out in cliques, but I think you just tend to hang out people that you know. Like, it's just same thing if any other job or any place like school, jobs, wherever you are, it's not that you're standoffish, it's just that you're going to talk to people that you generally do know because that's what you feel comfortable with until you break out of that comfort zone and go introduce yourself to people. Now, I didn't get a chance to introduce myself to everybody that was there because there were generally people that I just didn't recognize. So when they came up to us, I would stick my hand out and say, hi, my name is Allie, and I'd introduce myself. But if I didn't know who they were, I didn't want to walk up and be like, hi. Like, because Manny's like, oh, you should walk over to people and say, hey, like, it's so nice to meet you. I love your content. And I'm like, but I can't say that if I don't know who they are. And he's like, touche. So there were people that I saw that I was like, oh, I actually know that person. But it was really cool. It was such a cool moment. It's something that I'll never, ever, ever forget. Like, it was really sweet. People there were super kind, and I really enjoyed the experience that I had. I really did. And I hope it's like that always, but you know, time will tell. I'm gonna go into the shade Serenity, this little light shade right here, and we're gonna pop that right in the middle just to give like a little extra little pop. I'm actually gonna also go into the light shade right here. This is that Pure Glow finishing powder. This can be used as a highlight as well as a brow bone highlight, a radiance finishing powder. This can be used for so much. I really do like how it's very versatile. I'm just gonna pop that again just right here. All right, let me quickly do my lashes off camera because I'm still new at that, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, now that the eyes are done, I actually am wearing my Luna lashes. These are by Luner Beauty. I'm obsessed. These are my absolute favorite lashes. These are the only things I've been wearing. I wore them to the event. I've been wearing them nonstop. They are truly amazing, and you guys can actually use my code Allie, which will save you guys 10%. Okay, so moving on to the face. We're gonna go into this light setting powder right here before I put on any sort of primer. We're gonna actually set my face with this first. You guys will see what I mean by it giving me like a soft, radiant glow on my brush. Which, by the way, if you guys have not seen, I don't have the exact date, but my brushes are actually restocking in March. So everybody's pre-orders will finally start shipping out in March. All the brushes are in, but they're all actually having their crystals being placed on the brushes right now. So as soon as those finish, everyone's pre-orders are gonna be sent out, which I'm so excited because it's been long awaited. I don't think they expected the launch to go the way they did. So I think that's why they're like, oh shit. So they're getting them out as soon as they can. And then obviously once my brushes are restocked, you guys will definitely know if you guys want to get your hands on them because I freaking love these. So it definitely gives me that glow that will look beautiful under the foundation. This question is, when are we going to get a Manny video with you as the guest? I don't know. That's not something that him and I have ever talked about. I'm never, ever, ever one to ask to do collaborations with anybody. It's just not something that I generally feel really comfortable with. I don't know why, just not for me. I mean, maybe one day, but like, I don't really care if we ever do. Like, I generally just enjoy my friendship with him. I don't care if I ever do a collab with him. Like, that's not something I'm looking, like, that's not something that, like, I'm looking at or looking for. Like, I could care less. So I don't know if that will ever happen, but especially since he lives in LA and I live in Orlando, I just don't foresee that happening, and I'm actually completely okay with that. I am using the little Milk Hydro Grip. I'm gonna have to buy the full size because I freaking love this. I think it's amazing. I'll make sure I list everything that I'm wearing down below. I also saw a question on here that didn't really necessarily pertain to the LA trip, but someone just wanted to know if I was ever going to collab with any of my followers or Mikey or anything like that. I'm gonna be really with you guys. I don't do collabs with anybody unless I'm genuinely like your friend. I don't believe in just collaborating with somebody just to collaborate with somebody. I only collaborate with people that I genuinely do have a friendship with, have talked to outside of YouTube, because that way it's organic. That way it's real. I don't ever want to introduce you to somebody that I genuinely don't follow and support and believe in, because then it just isn't organic to me. And I want to make sure that the person I talk to you guys about is someone that I genuinely do like and respect and would love to work with. Do you know what I'm saying? So I will only, like I said, do collabs. And I said this before in the past, with people that I genuinely do have a bond with and have connected with and have a friendship with. So I'm sorry if that's like, you know, I'm sorry that like is like, I'm sorry if that's like hurtful to anybody. I just really only believe in just doing collabs with people that I'm friends with. It just that way it keeps it organic and it keeps it, I don't know, comfortable for me too, you know, because it is still nerve-wracking filming in front of somebody, and I just rather do it with somebody that like I'm just friends with, if that makes sense. Also, I am going in with my absolute favorite foundation. I cannot get enough of this foundation. It's the NARS Light Radiant Advanced Skincare Foundation. Oh my God, it's my favorite. I cannot get enough. The next question is, what sites did you see? So the number one site I really wanted to see was the Grwm Observatory. I really wanted to see that observatory. It's been a huge bucket list of mine to see that, as well as the Santa Monica Pier. Big two bucket list of mine. So we went to the Grwm Observatory. We got to explore the grounds. We went hiking all in that area, and that's like right next to the Hollywood sign. So we got to go see that, and we went there twice. We went once during the morning, so we can go. I'm sorry, I'm like looking at the mirror right here. I'm sorry. So we went once in the morning. So we like got to hike the trails. The trails there are like intensive to go hiking. Like it's really a moment. I was like, holy crap, like that's like a really strenuous hike. I was just like, wow. But the sights are beautiful because you get to see all of LA. Like, you know, Yes Man was shot there. They had Transformer scenes shot there. So many other things. Like I think Adele's concert that she recently put on was at the Grwm Observatory. It's just a gorgeous location. And it's such a gorgeous location. I didn't know the building was 100 years old, by the way. I had no clue. I love doing historical things. Like that's like my idea of a good time. Like I love checking out like museums, or like whenever I go to St. Augustine, like do all like the tourist stuff. Like whenever I go on any vacation, I try to go see something that like I have know that's been around for hundreds of years. Like that's just my idea of a good time. I just like doing that type of stuff. So I really wanted to see that. And then I really wanted to go to the Santa Monica Pier because I have seen this Santa Monica Pier since I was a little girl. Everybody doing rides. Like Mr. Bean went there in a movie that I freaking love, Mr. Bean. Just so many people have always showed the Santa Monica Pier being on that damn yellow coaster. And I just always wanted to go on that freaking yellow coaster. And I got to, which I'm so excited. I got to go on that coaster. So that really just like made my day going on that coaster. We filmed the whole thing, and I know people are asking me about the water. The water is unbelievably cold. So cold. But it just kind of felt like sticking my feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Like the ocean didn't feel any different. It's just that it was really cold, and I had no desire to go in it. I just want to dip my feet into it. But then once you stood there for a while, you kind of got used to it. Like it really wasn't that bad. And then after like the Santa Monica Pier, after Santa Monica Pier, we did go to Venice Beach. So I got to check out Venice Beach, which was a long walk, by the way. I didn't think it was gonna be that long. No wonder why people take like little bikes, or they have someone like on a like little carriage bring them over, because it really was something that I was just not expecting. I was like, holy crap, this is actually really intense, like the walk. But it was cool though, because since it was Super Bowl weekend, the Bengals had like their family there on a big beach party right at Venice Beach. So that was actually pretty cool to see. Like all the Bengal like family was there. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. After that, you know, we went and checked out the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Chinese Theater, because everybody says that's like a must-have that you must see. So we went and checked that out. And then we just like went and toured like all like downtown LA. I got to see all downtown LA. I got to see like where they filmed the Super Bowl at this year. I got to see all of that. And then we just went back to like the Grwm Observatory, because we were only there for 3 days. So we went back to the Grwm Observatory to see it at night. It was actually really cool is at night they actually open up a telescope so that you could actually explore, you could actually see like whatever they're pointing at that night. And that night they're broadcasting the moon. So I got to see the moon. And let me tell you guys, that was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen the moon up close to that with my own eyes. Like, yeah, you could see pictures and whatnot, but like to see it with your own eyes was just truly incredible. I just didn't expect to see the moon like that through an actual like telescope. That's like an antique telescope. That was such a cool moment. And like on the grounds, they had everybody there with their own big gigantic telescopes that are pointing at stars, pointing at Saturn. It was actually really cool. And then you get to see like LA lit up at night, which again is a really beautiful sight. Like it really truly is a beautiful sight. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed seeing that. It was so freaking pretty. So those are one of the few things I saw. A lot of people asked me if I went to Disneyland or Universal City Walk. So we have Universal City Walk here in Orlando. So I didn't have any desire, even though we're staying literally right at the Universal Resort, I didn't have any desire to go check out City Walk because it just wasn't something I wanted to see. And we didn't have time to go check out Disneyland or Universal. We just didn't have time for it. But me and Corey had already been planning a trip to go down to Disneyland as it is. So that is going to happen. And when we do go back to California, we want to go check out Disneyland, Universal. Because I want to like spend more than just like a couple hours at Disney, because that'd be the only time I get to spend. I want to spend more than a couple hours at Disney, because I was only going to be able to give a couple hours at Disney because I just didn't really have the time. So I wanted to see what I could without having it take up too much time. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to check out what I could within the time frame that I could. But it was a great experience. Like, I absolutely loved seeing everything that I saw. The biggest bucket list that I saw was the Griffin Observatory and sticking my feet inside the sticking my feet in the ocean. Like, that was my biggest thing that I wanted to see, and the Hollywood sign. But legit, it was those two moments that just stood out to me that I was just so excited to finally like be able to do, that I have dreamed about since I was a little girl, and ride that coaster. That coaster was like the biggest thing I was excited for. What surprised you most about the event? I think what surprised me most about the event was how how Glamite went all out. Like, they had like a full bar. They had a bartender that would go around bringing out everybody all these different drinks. They had a like two dancers like walk out on nothing but like lit up lights. I was showcasing like Glamite X Hershey's. I thought that was actually really, really cool. And then I need to bring my mirror over here. I'm sorry. And then they had like the bar like walk out with like, you know, with a 1942 bottle of tequila, which if you guys don't know, that's a pretty expensive bottle of tequila. And they're just like, you know, tipping everybody's head back, doing shots, and you could have as much as you want. I thought that was actually really cool. They had DJs there. They were live streaming it. The sparklers that Giselle had go off all the time was super cool. Like, I didn't know what to expect. So the whole event kind of surprised me, because mind you, that's my first time ever going to an event. So I legit had no idea what to expect. I remember asking Manny, like, hey, what should I expect? And he said every event is completely different. So like, you just don't know. Every event is different. So I was like, oh, okay. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Definitely like set the bar high for if I ever go back to LA for like a brand event. Like, I definitely kind of had the bar set high. Like, I can't help it. I definitely had the bar set high with what to like maybe potentially expect. I do. I can't help it. I struggle with getting my words out, and it's amplified 1,000%, 10,000% when I'm in a high anxiety situation. So that was something I was definitely like really, really worried about, was having like me stumble over my words, because you guys see that I mess up my words all the time, enough as it is when I'm filming. So definitely in person, that was something I was trying to be very, very mindful of. Thank God Manny already knows who I am, so he knew like my stumbling of the words. But like when I talked to like Kristen and Giselle and the entire team at Glamite and like Sophie, like I was trying to be like very conscientious about what I said, how I said it, so that I didn't sound stupid, because God knows I do that enough in my daily life here on YouTube. The last thing I want to do was just sound stupid yet again. So I definitely was very, very conscientious about what I was saying and like how I was saying it. And I was trying to talk slower, but thank God the music was actually pretty loud. So if I did stumble my words, you really couldn't tell that I was stumbling over my words. So I was like, thank God. Did you have to pay for anything during your trip? Yes. So the only thing that Glamite covered was our flights to and from, and the hotel room. And then they did have a driver. They did have their driver pick us up. They did have a driver pick us up from the airport to take us to the hotel. And then on the day that we were leaving, they did send an Uber or a Lyft to come pick us up and take us to the airport. So those are the only times that Glamite covered anything, was just to and from the airport, the actual like airplane ride, the airplane tickets, and the hotel room. Everything else, like food and any Ubers or sightseeing that we wanted to do, was all on our own. Like, we had to do it on our own. Oh, by the way, I saw the Grove. I forgot to tell you guys, I saw the Grove. So when we took an Uber to the Grove, that's like a really nice shopping area. And I got to see a 3-story Barnes & Nobles, which was truly incredible. I did not expect to see like a 3-story Barnes & Nobles. Completely shocked the heck out of me. And I felt so bad because I wanted to film inside the bookstore, because I had just never seen a bookstore look like that before. Massive, right? And the guy saw me filming, and he was super nice. He's like, hey ma'am, I just want to know, I'm really sorry. There's no filming allowed inside of here. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, this is just my first time here. And he's like, I could tell. He goes, that's why I feel so bad telling you to put away your phone. I was like, can I just finish this one image? He goes, absolutely. Super nice dude, but I just wasn't allowed to film inside there. Same thing with the Sephora. That was the biggest Sephora I have ever seen. And sorry, I like to set my whole face. I get really oily. That was the biggest Sephora I have ever seen. And they were very much like, you can't film inside here as well. So that was another sightseeing I saw. But yeah, anywhere we went, any food place we went, we had to cover our own bills, which like I expected. I didn't expect Glamite to pay for our flights in a hotel, and they were like, no, we're flying you out here, we're taking care of that. So that was like such a cool thing to like experience, because I just was not expecting that, right? Like that's not something I assume will ever happen to me. So that's something I thought was really cool. So I never once expected them to like pay for all that stuff, you know? So a lot of people were asking me what was the best thing I ate there. I don't know, because we ate at the Five, the Five on the Hill, which was this really nice restaurant on the side of a mountain that was actually at our hotel. Really, really nice. I love the drinks there. I love the food there. It was super delicious. They were going around giving us like pan-seared peanuts that they were actually cooking right in front of us. Absolutely delicious, or mixed nuts. And then we had room service. They delivered breakfast to us the next day in the morning. The coffee there was really good. The breakfast is actually really good. Expensive like there's no tomorrow, but it was still like really good. I enjoyed that. And then when we ate it in and out. And then when we were at Santa Monica, we ate at this Mexican restaurant. The food is actually quite good. The food was actually really good. My sister kept asking me too, like what food places we were gonna go check out. I'm not a big like foodie. I don't try to like find the best restaurants. Some of you guys were reaching out to me saying, try this, try that, try this. And it's like, I will, I promise. I just don't have the time right now. But when we do go back for our own trip, then we'll check out like all the really like big food places. Like I really would like to check out the Nobu, because everybody tells you to check out Nobu, right? So I really want to check that out for sure. It just has to be when it's a little bit easier to do. But everybody talked about how great the food was there. I enjoyed it. And I also did not see any celebrities. A lot of people asked me if I saw celebrities too. No. I'm sure if we stayed one more day, we probably would have saw celebrities, because where we were at the Santa Monica Pier, they were actually setting up for like an ESPN event to interview people, like all the like sports people, like the Bella twins were there. And I'm so mad because I came so close to like meeting them just like the day before we left, they were there. But yeah, no, we didn't see any celebrities, and I didn't expect to either, because I'm pretty sure the celebrities don't hang out in like LA. I'm sure they hang out like in Calabasas and like Hidden Valley, like all like the really, really like rich area that us poor folks can't get into. So someone asked me my favorite Glamite palette. What's my favorite Glamite palette? I don't know. I could never answer that question. I had somebody reach out to me in my DMs, because I love a lot of their palettes for all these different reasons. It's really hard for me to narrow down what my favorite one is. But if I were to, I guess, say one, maybe it'd be the Dirty Martini palette. Maybe that one. But I'm very like, I don't know. That's hard. Is there maybe a collaboration with Luner Beauty? No, I don't think so. I don't think Manny does collaborations like that, honestly. I don't think he does. And I'm not really expecting to like do a collab. I'm pretty much, by the way, recreating my makeup that I wore there. I'm just not doing that eye look that I did, but I'm doing something very close to it, very similar. Who took care of your babies when we were at LA? Oh, my good friend Allison. She took care of her babies. She stayed at her house, and I probably harassed her like 500 times a day to make sure my babies were well taken care of. I FaceTimed her and everything, so she took really, really good care of our babies. So I was really grateful for that, for sure. Did you go out and dance? Sort of. I kind of just, you know, enjoyed my drink, enjoyed my time hanging out with everybody more than dancing. I'm not the biggest dancer unless like you get me like to drink and like really let loose, but I didn't dance as much as I thought I was going to. Plus my feet were hurting because I don't wear heels. It's just something that I'm just not accustomed to. So my feet were like actually like hurting me by the end of the day. Like I was like ready to take my feet off. Or I'm gonna take my shoes off, not my feet off. Could you imagine? How long did it take you to do your makeup for the party? Did you go neutral or colorful? So I went neutral, and I was gonna do a red lip, but I decided to do a neutral lip instead. And it probably took me an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get ready, because I was being very meticulous with how I was doing my makeup. I wanted to make sure that it was very nice and blended, very, very, sorry, I'm getting grabbing my mascara. Very nice and blended and very like, as put together as possible. I literally let my face bake for like 20 minutes before I actually like started to wipe it away and I put my face on, because I wanted to try to control the oil as best as possible, because I did not want to get oily while I was at the event. That's the last thing I wanted to do, was get oily. It just was something that I was just so paranoid about. I even brought my Nakia Joy Cosmetics pressed powder as a touch-up, like in my bag, because I wanted to make sure that I was not going to get oily at all. Like I was very, very, very self-conscious about that. Not to mention, it took me so long because My Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, both bottles completely leaked in my bag. So I had to clean out my entire bag, clean out all my products. And I didn't have lash glue. Like, I was so mad at myself that I forgot to pack lash glue. So thank God Corey was able to grab an Uber and he was able to find lash glue. And we probably had 20 minutes left before we had to leave, before he came running the hotel room with that lash glue. And I was like, thank God, because I couldn't put on the rest of my outfit until that was done. And then I just threw my hair up in a really high pony, straightened my hair, and then wrapped my hair around the band so you couldn't see the band. And that's just kind of what I went with, because I was gonna curl it, but I just didn't have time. All right, guys, I'm gonna go back into that light finishing powder. Where did I put it? I'm gonna go back into this light finishing powder right here, and I'm actually gonna use this to set my highlight today, because it is such a pretty freaking color. Like, look at that, like how I kind of have like a radiant glow. So I'm gonna take this on my little fan brush, and we're just gonna tap that right there. Do you guys see that glow? Look at how stunning that is. Like, do you guys see that? It has like that nice like wet glow that I freaking am obsessed with. Even though I'm really oily, for some reason I just can't get enough of a glow like that. Oh God, it's so pretty. So probably the last question I'm gonna answer, because there's just so many questions. I'm trying to like answer all that I can. Do I have any future collaborations in the work? So I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I do not have any future collaborations in the work right at this time. You guys know my dream brand to collaborate with is Glamite. Like, that is 100% my dream collaboration. And you guys were so sweet when I talked about that in my Glamite video. You guys were like, oh, but other brands like Nomad Cosmetics or, you know, Odin Eyes Cosmetics, they like to collaborate with smaller influencers. So if a brand were to reach out to me and ask me to collaborate, if it's not the ones that I'm envisioning, I'm probably going to say no. It's not because I don't want to collaborate with those brands. It's just I have a vision. Like, I have a vision of what exactly it is that I want, and I don't want to settle for anything less. And I know that Glamite would be able to make my vision come true. So with what I envision, I don't want to sit here and just agree to like, just agree to do those collabs with brands that I do love for sure, but they wouldn't be able to give me the dream that I'm looking for. Does that make sense? It's not that like those brands wouldn't be able to deliver that for me. It's just I know what I want. And I know what I want my dream collab to be with, and I just feel like Glamite would be able to deliver exactly what it is I'm looking for. And I would hate to give you guys a product, not that I'd be happy with it, but it needs to be something that like, it's wanted to be my vision. I just genuinely want it to be my vision, and I just feel like Glamite would be able to give me exactly what I'm looking for. And I don't want to give you guys anything less than what I'm dreaming of. Does that make sense? I'm trying to articulate it, and I just don't know if it's coming off correctly. If I were to collaborate with anyone other than Glamite for like a first collaboration, it would just be like a palette that like I would always have envisioned as being like my second palette, like the second thing I come out with. Does that make sense? Like, I'd hold off on my dream and create something that else I'd be very proud of, but it wouldn't be my dream collection. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm going into one of my favorite combos. I have two favorite combos, by the way. I have my Jaclyn Hill combo, where it's the Toasty liner with the Be Bold Liquid Lip with Gratitude and Oh Hi, tapped like all up in the center with a little bit of clear gloss on top. And then I also have my more nudie look, which is going to be my Lunar Beauty, where I do the Jaclyn Hill Bourbon lip liner, followed by the Zaya Liquid Lip, which I'm going to put all over my lips. Okay, so once that's laid down, we're going to go in with Perfection. This is like literally my go-to combo, and this is exactly what I wore at the event, by the way. Once that's laid down, we're gonna tap it out with my finger. Now, since my Celine gloss is empty, I'm going into my Stardust, which is just another beautiful gloss from Luner Beauty, which you guys can use code Allie, save you guys 10%. I'm just gonna put this all over the lip. Spray the face one more time. And this is the final look. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody's questions. I try to answer all the questions that I saw so many duplicates of, or some of you guys asking around the same thing. So I try to answer all those questions, but just know that I had the best time in LA. It was truly such a wonderful experience. I'm still so grateful to Glamite for taking me and Corey out there, for showing us a wonderful time, for meeting the amazing people that I met. Really, it was such an amazing experience. It's something that I will never, ever forget, and I'll always be so, so grateful to the team and Giselle at Glamite for taking such good care of us. And, you know, it was just so cool, and I definitely can't wait to go back for sure. But like Like I said, I'll list everything that I wore my face down below, but this is pretty much exactly what I wore to the event, minus the eyes. I did wear like a different eye look, but like everything else, like the makeup base was all the same. Like this is all like the same look that I did. I wanted to be very natural, very easy, something that will last all day. And I just really do love how the makeup turned out. I was very proud of it. And I will have those vlogs out next week. Like I said, I have 2 vlogs. I have the actual like event vlog followed by like my LA vlog. But yeah, this was the final look. Hopefully it answered all the questions okay. I tried my best, like I said, to get to every single one that I saw or answer all the duplicates. This was definitely a lot of fun. I should definitely do like another Q&A another time. Like I love answering your guys' questions because they're just so much fun. I also just want to say a huge thank you to Ofer Cosmetics once again for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Guys, I really do enjoy this eyeshadow palette. You guys know I'm not really one to enjoy neutral palettes, but this palette was actually super easy to work with. The pigments are there. They may not like look like much in the pan, but I'm telling you, they're super pigmented. They worked really well. They blend very easily. This base right here, I just really like the glow that it gives my face. I also love the highlighter look that it does. It's absolutely beautiful. You guys can find it's absolutely beautiful. They have a new highlighter. The packaging is so cute, and I just really like the meshes that they're saying. I just like the meshes that they're saying behind the new Lotus collection, and it's launching today. It's definitely launching today, and I'm going to be featured on their IG stories. So make sure you guys go follow them on IG to check me out on there because it's just still so cool. And I'll have everything about this collection linked down below, as well as all the makeup products that I use. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 4 to 5 videos a week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey, and a huge thank you goes to all these beautiful, wonderful Patreon members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, just thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Bye. And how was the brand? How was the trip? And how was the trip? This is going to be a neutral eye. One of those that you will, that I don't know exactly what time it goes live today, but okay, so now that the eyes are done, I actually am wearing my Lunar lashes. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions hopefully you guys like the question.